Zo social service. Het wordt tussen het. Nou, abultrak. De give the floor. To Emanuela y Ludmila. Because as Vasilka said, it is important for us to know what are the difficulties, the challenges that organizations are currently meeting in Western Balkan countries and in the Eastern Partnership countries. So I can ask Emanuela to start.
Hello, thank you, Claire. Hello, everyone. Dear Vasilika, thank you for hosting. Dear EASPD colleagues, thank you. So let me start sharing my screen and see. Do you all see it? I think yes, right?
Yes, it is okay.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Emanuela Zaimi, and today I represent Down Syndrome Albania Foundation. A few words about us, although I see that the group that is here today, we have already introduced each other. But Down Syndrome Albania Foundation was founded in 2013 from parents of children with Down syndrome. And this year we celebrated the 7th year, let's say, of our existence. Our main focus, of course, we are a parental NGO, but also beside our main focus is delivering services, but of course, a very important part of it is to advocate for the rights and needs now not only for people with Down syndrome, but in general for people with disabilities, but focusing on the rights and needs of people with intellectual disabilities. So our service center now is called Proppak Service Center, and since last year it's offering services to children with intellectual disabilities from, let's say, 3 months, years old up to 12 years old. And then we have also the another support service program, let's say, which is the personal and social autonomy course, where are involved young people with intellectual disabilities. The thing is that when we started at the beginning our NGO, we didn't know too much about funding and about project writing. So at the first years, our NGO was mainly depending on the funds that we used to raise through the business community. So through fundraising and regular monthly donors from the business community and other types of, let's say, fundraising through individual donations or different fundraising activities like, let's say, concerts, etc. But around 2015, we start developing our own capacities also in terms of project writing and project management. And yeah, now we are doing much more better. And although, so we manage now, we have been able to manage grants and projects up to 400,000 euros, but of course not at an EU level, EU funded project level. So today I will be telling you about our experience only related to projects that we have applied and we have not won, projects that we have applied and have finished, and projects that are about to start, and other types of experiences related to EU funded projects for Albania. So let me start with the ones that we have applied but not have succeeded. The first one has been to support a call for action to support civil society organizations capacities, and this was in 2018. The contracting authority was European Commission, with a reference number that you see there, and the objective of the call was to support and monitor the implementation of two laws in Albania, that of the social care services and that of the, let's say, pre-university education related to the inclusive education articles. We applied there with the objective to increase the quality and the capacity of social care services and ensure accessibility to these services for children and persons with intellectual disabilities in Albania. This was our first time that we were trying to apply in an EU-funded project. The value was quite high, as you see, and we applied there as a lead applicant with a co-applicant, the municipality of Tirana. And our mistake here had been that it turned out that the municipality was not eligible to be as a co-applicant. At that time, we did not understand. It means that very good the guidelines of the call, where we thought that state agencies means also the municipalities. So this was the mistake that we did there. Let's say that maybe, not maybe, but at least this was the evaluation result why we did not win the project. The second one has been another action under the financed by EU in Albania under European Instrument for Democracy and Human Rights component. It was this time it was a sub-grant scheme. The objective of the call was to contribute to the protection of the rights. Sorry, do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear.
Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Go
I'm
on.
sorry, I got a notice that my internet connection is not.
It is okay, Emanuela. Go on.
That is why I asked. So in the case of points out of 100 points, what I want to emphasize is that every time when we see calls, we try to find a window to apply to support our services. This is our main need and main aim. So there have been also other projects that we have not been successful. I would this time I would mention also the based also with the partnerships that we have had through EASPD network. One of the projects that Proppak applied as, and Basilika is today here, so she maybe remembers more details. We applied for this project as a co-applicant with Proppak and EASPD, and we didn't get enough points. Again, this was the Instrument for Democracy and Human Rights. Then we had this, I don't know if you, most probably you have heard of RELOAD, which is the regional program on local democracy in Western Balkans, where one of the donors is also the European Union. And at that time in 2000, no, this was lately, this year that we tried to apply, and it was during the COVID times, and we tried we proposed the Proppak online. Proppak means PAK in Albanian means people with disabilities, and we applied with an online platform idea for social services. Then we have tried also, I mean, Margarita tried this time from Greece. They asked us if we wanted to join in the Creative Europe program in the project, and also this time we did not succeed, I think, because of the enough points that we did not get. So these two projects have to do with partnerships that we have tried within EASPD network. Another call that we tried during COVID time, during lockdown, was the CEI extraordinary call for proposals. Again, here we applied because our services went online, and we wanted we applied for to support us for these online services, because our other project that was supporting our services on site was on hold, and then we needed to find some support, and this was a call that we tried, but we did not succeed, unfortunately. Now the projects that we have been successful mainly in getting projects that are sub-granted. And in this sense, one of the most important projects has been our social autonomy and personal autonomy course, which started with a sub-grant from Caritas Albania, so a European Union sub-grant project, societies. And actually this was very important because through this project we brought for the first time our autonomy course in Albania. And this was 17 months, the first 17 months of this first time applied course. And this gave also, you'll see beyond this, especially this program, even now has continued to being supported through grants from EU funding programs. So we started with the Caritas Albania sub-grant, and then we continued with Reload, with another call of the Reload. And actually we are implementing it again with World Vision in Albania, as you will see forward. Another EU project that, another way how we have benefited as a grantor, but as a partner to UNICEF Albania, has been a project which main activities were to implement a dedicated event to promote the key findings of UNICEF, a UNICEF report on the situation of children with disabilities in Albania, to design and implement a national awareness mass media campaign. And we also included here educational aspects by writing and publishing 3 books for children on acceptance and empathy. The fund here was around 45,600 euros. This was our first time collaboration with UNICEF, and it was, I think, a very successful one. The event was very innovative. We simulated in this event for a couple of hours how it can be facing accessibility issues or what are your challenges when you have a type of disability. So not only intellectual, but also physical one. The book was also a very successful component. It was distributed in many schools or kindergartens in Albania. So now I go on again to our autonomy program, autonomy course program, just to tell that. So as I explained before, again, next phase after Caritas was to be supported by the Reload program. And this time, and now we have it, and it will finish in March through the sub-grant scheme from World Vision Albania. And again, this time the social autonomy classes, we have added also computer classes, computer literacy classes, which are taking place indoors, while the social autonomy course takes place only in communities, so only outdoors, and there are 23 youngsters with intellectual disability that take part on this course. So this program has mainly been, not mainly, but always been supported and being continuing without any service fee, thanks to the sub-grant schemes from EU funded projects. What we are about to start to implement, just 3 days ago, we learned that again, under IPA 2, this is related to COVID-19 response. The project is called Inclusive COVID-19 Response for Children and with Disabilities and Their Families in Albania. It is a sub-grant by World Vision in Albania again. The total budget is 400,000 euros, and the budget we will receive as Down Syndrome Albania is again 20,000 euros. And our the project, the partners in this sub-grant scheme are, let's say, all main disability organizations in Albania. So we are all together under this sub-grant scheme with different roles, and our role would be to coach and to support practitioners, mainly teachers, so in the education system, with their individual education plans, so to support inclusive education plans for children with disabilities in Albania. And on the other side, to coach and to train parents of these children on child development and learning objectives based on this education plan. So we want also to the parents to be, aware and informed, and to have somehow a role in this in the education plan of their own children. And the beneficiaries here would be only through our what we are going to do, that 450 professionals are going to be supported, and the training and our coaching will be mainly online, and 300 parents on the other side. What has happened recently, and we were all very excited about, was a call, the IPA call again, and the program which was going heavily to support in terms of service provision in Albania. So local level partnerships to advance social inclusion in Albania under IPA. And this call was open, and it was canceled later, mainly due to some, let's say, not very clear guidelines for the applicants, and we are waiting it to be reopened. We in this call, NGOs had to partner with selected municipalities in Albania, and we were going to apply together with Health Life Association, which is another EASPD member. with one of the municipalities, a small municipality in Albania, Shiak municipality. They would be the leader.
I don't know what happened. Probably Emanuela has some internet
Sorry?
problems. You have been frozen, so probably you had some internet connection problem. Can you repeat?
What did you hear last? I'm so sorry. Vasilika, do you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
I am very sorry. I don't know. I never had problems in this apartment with internet, and today, actually, it started yesterday night. So maybe you were talking about, you did not understand the last
slide.
Yeah, okay. So this is about a call that was open for Albania, and it was canceled.
Okay, due to the...
It was canceled.
Can you turn off your camera, please? Maybe the connection will be better.
The guys were not very and caused many confusion. Do you hear now?
So, unfortunately, yes, now I can hear you. Can you finish your presentation? Because
yeah.
And it is better not to have to turn off the camera.
Listen, I connected now through my mobile phone. So maybe this is better. Connected through my mobile phone.
Okay, now it's okay.
Wow, great! Finally, I should have done this earlier. So the last that I was discussing with you was this very important call that we are waiting to open and to apply, and we will be in partnership with one of the municipalities in Albania and Health Life Association, which is another member of EASPD here in Albania.
Okay.
Do you hear me?
Yes, it's okay now.
But what I want to emphasize as last notes is that there have not been too many EU funding opportunities for NGOs in Albania in terms of, service provision. And another thing that I'd like to emphasize, we discussed also last time when we were gathered as non-EU member countries. I would love to see under EASPD's work and network that we try to collaborate even stronger as non-EU countries or Western Balkan countries in joint applications and possibilities through EU funding schemes. If you have some questions later, I can try to reply. I'm very sorry about my connection problems today.
Don't worry, this is not your fault, it is technology. However, thank you for this detailed presentation. And of course, you are here with us for if there is some question to answer to our participants. Now we are moving to Moldova. Ludmila, are you with us? Okay, yes, I can see you. You are very welcome to start your presentation.
Okay, hi everybody, can you hear me? Just one moment, I would like to share my presentation. Okay, my presentation will be on EU funding and Keystone Moldova expertise. On this slide, you can see the projects, European Union projects that Keystone Moldova implemented since 2012. Evidently, I will not stop on projects that have been rejected. Even like the last week, we got a message from the European Union that our project is in reserve. And that is not very, let's say, good news for us. But here you can see that the project that we implemented, first of all, I would like to say that we used practically all funding instruments that Moldova can apply for. First of all, we use the European Instrument for Democracy and Human Rights. And under this instrument, we implemented a project on advancing and monitoring the rights of people with mental disabilities in neuropsychiatric residential institutions. The focus of these projects was to increase the knowledge of people with disabilities regarding their rights and to develop a complaint national mechanism for persons with disabilities, like a hotline service. The hotline service now is paid from the state budget. We used also civil society organizations and local authorities program mechanisms. And first of all, it was used for building public-private partnerships for sustainable development of local government disability services. And here we encouraged partnerships between local governments and NGOs for developing mobile team services in 6 regions. The mobile team services, each mobile team services serve like 25 persons with disabilities at home for the period of 1 year. The second one, better social services through a sustainable partnership between the civil society and the government. We are ending this project in January 2021. It is like around 2 million euro, but it's a project focused on sub-granting grassroots NGOs. And Keystone Moldova gave technical assistance to grassroots NGOs, to 33 grassroots NGOs for the institutionalization of persons with disabilities and for development of community-based services for persons with disabilities and children and vulnerable children. Well, in total, under this project, we developed like 44 community-based services. Also, we used like the mechanism instrument contributing to stability and peace. And it was a project in social services for persons with disabilities to increase the confidence between the both banks of the Nistru River. And this mechanism, under this mechanism, we transferred the best social care services like mobile team and daycare centers in Transnistria region. It's a region that has big problems. It's like a separatist region in Moldova. And I think that we got a big success also because those services are now financed by so-called national, by so-called Transnistrian public authorities. Also, we used the cross-border cooperation. We just got a big project, cross-border cooperation for inclusive career guidance. Our partner is an NGO from Romania, and it will be focused on inclusive vocational education. Is a step ahead or is the second step for inclusive education that we implemented in the country, like in schools and kindergartens. We got not so far ago, like through Eastern Partnership, Civil Society Rapid Response Mechanism, a small project like 60,000 euro for ensuring safety in 6 residential institutions. And this project is about protective equipment during the COVID, and it's about increasing the knowledge of persons with disabilities, how to protect from COVID, and it's also about developing internal policy on combating COVID. On this slide, you can see the impact of the European Union project that Keystone Moldova implemented in Moldova, and you can see that around 180,000 persons with disabilities got access to complaint mechanism. The complaint mechanism now is financed by the state, and Keystone Moldova is accredited like a service provider. Now we are providing already the second year from the state money this service. Around 3,000 persons with disabilities improved access to services. We strengthened the capacities of more than 6,000 local public authorities, CSO services, staff, parents, persons with disabilities. 100 persons with disabilities exercise their right to community living. 60 NGOs improved capacities to develop and deliver social care services. We also prevented from COVID like around 2,400 persons with disabilities and staff in residential institutions, and developed 55 new community-based services. All of them are sustainable and paid from the state budgets. We got also 2 European Union awards on strengthening civil society and building cohesive communities. Regarding the factors to success, I would like to say that first of all, it's about the access to information on funding. That is very important. In order to access the funding, you need to know where to find this funding. Also, the capacities to develop proposals, because this is also an important thing. And I would like to say that for us, it was very important to go to European Union trainings on how to develop project proposals and how to manage European Union project proposals. Also, one factor of success is partnership with central and local governments, because many projects under the funding mechanism on building partnerships and public administrations and civil societies are related to have these strong partnerships and to have the sustainability, ensured sustainability for future services. Also, the all projects we implemented in partnerships with local, national, and international NGOs. And on the first slide, I indicated the NGOs who were our partners. Very important also is grant management capacities for efficient use of funds and timely implementation. And if you have some funds and you are successful on implementing these funds, that means that maybe in the future you will have new funds. Success builds success. And also human resources matter. That is very important. On the next 2 slides, I would like just to focus the attention on some problems and on some expectations. These problems and expectations, I think, are characteristics for all non-EU countries. And we will appreciate very much if the EASPD will transfer these problems and will represent us to sending these problems and expectations to European Union. First of all, I would like to say that the main problems is, like it was said in the previous presentations, limited European Union financial resources that are focused on implementation of UN Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities in non-EU countries. We are focused on implementation of convention, but we need to look through other possibilities in order to go indirectly and to find money for implementation of the UN Convention. Also, limited involvement of non-governmental organizations from non-EU countries in consultations at different stages of EU programming process. Now we know that the EU is preparing for the next programming process. Like
Lyudmila,
yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking that the problem is only with me, but I just see the reaction. Your presentation is not moving on. It is only only the first slide on the screen.
Oh my God! Why? What shall I do?
Just click on enter and change the slides.
Okay, this slide you saw. This slide you saw?
It is the first one, only the first one.
Okay, and this one?
No.
Maybe stop sharing the screen, Ludmila, please, and reshare the screen once again. Thank you.
Okay, I'll do that. That's a problem, I think. One moment, just. Oh my God. Okay. I'll try to find. Okay, this one. And can you see the screen?
It is okay now. The first slide. Now let's go on the
Okay.
second one.
Okay, I'll go on the second one. It doesn't like to go. One moment. Okay, can you see
Now
now?
it's okay. Yes.
Okay, that's nice. I told about this implemented European Union project and about the funding instruments and about the budget and about the project, the content of the project. On this slide, you saw the impact and factors to success. I already told about all the impact of this project and about the factor to success. And I am now on this slide with problems that we would like to have EASPD as advocating for us at the European Union level in order that we, the non-EU countries, will get like more financial resources focused on implementation of United Nations conventions on rights of persons with disabilities. And I would like also to say that one of the problems is that disability rights approach is still not integrated in all EU yet programs for non-EU countries. That limits our access to funding. And we have limited access to information of NGOs from non-EU countries on EU funding mechanism and financing opportunities. And also one of the problems is still limited capacities of grassroots NGOs to develop competitive proposals to assess European Union fundings. The expectations, first of all, one of the expectations is that the NGOs from non-EU countries shall like be involved in analysis of needs of every countries, particularly talking about Moldova. For example, in our case, we are in the middle of the reform of residential institutions, but within limited funding and within limited consultations with CSOs, we do not have access to European Union funds in order to finish the institutionalization of persons with disabilities. And that is a big problem because it was very difficult to work with national and local authorities in order to build a sustainable mechanism and to start this deinstitutionalization process in the country. We are already working on that like around 10 years, and still we are just in the middle of the process. Also, there is a need for some special thematic programs to support the implementation of UN Convention in non-EU countries. The disability rights and UN Convention priorities should be mainstreamed in all European Union YED programs. There is a need for developing mechanism at EASPD level, for advocacy at EU level, for increasing funding for the institutionalization and social inclusion of persons with disabilities in non-EU countries. And I do think that our today's meeting can be one of the first meetings on these discussions, and maybe in the future we can move that, at other level. There is a need also for European Union Annual Action Program to be published yearly in the calendar year, following consultations with CSOs. Many of us, we do not know, we didn't know about this Annual Action Program of European Union. And also the important role of NGOs should be recognized and financially supported in all EU geographical instruments and thematic programs. The CSOs in non-EU countries shall be consulted not only on EU thematic program, but also on partnerships between, but also on other programs implemented by the governments. And maybe NGOs shall serve for monitoring the implementation or the efficient implementation of this governmental program at different stages. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lyudmila, for your detailed presentation and expectations that you listed in your presentation. I'm really sorry that we had technical problems, but we will have the presentation of Emma and Ludmila. So for any question, we can contact with them directly. We had a question for Emanuela from Eric, and can you respond, Emanuela? The question was, what do you think? What are the main reasons that disability, Down syndrome Albania didn't succeed on European calls?
Okay, so first of all, let me emphasize again that we applied only twice, and actually one really, because the last one, CEI, it's also, you know, with European funding, but let's say and that one that we firstly applied was really at times where we did not have that very good capacities in project writing. We were just trying, you know, and I also think that even now, maybe we don't have, like, say, excellent capacities in project writing, but I don't think this is the only reason why one NGO may not win a project. It may be many reasons, and sometimes, and I think that there is a high competition of ideas and projects going out there. So this may be another reason why one cannot win a project. As we saw in the case that also we applied together in 2 calls as a consortium. So let's say with Margarita and also with Proppak. Again, it did not happen, so it's not going to happen always. I think, yeah, even in Albania, many NGOs still need to further build their capacities in project writing, and mainly in project writing, because I don't think we have any problems in project management. But in project writing, I think we should better build our capacities, and have possibility to pay for to have roles as a project manager and project writer. I mean, we are NGOs with small budgets. We cannot allow ourselves to all. So we do this role together with other roles that we do in the NGO. It's we don't have dedicated project writing people doing only the project writing.
Okay, thank you, Emanuela. Again, Eric has a comment on Ludmila presentation. Please.
Okay, thank you, Vasilka. Yeah, I think I would like to thank Ludmila for an excellent presentation. The last 2 slides were really impressive, and I think your recommendation that EU calls should be specifically dedicated to the implementation of the UN Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities is indeed crucial. I have made many attempts also to apply for EU calls, never succeeded, and those calls were mostly, let's say, the thematic was general human rights. And as Emma also said, there's a fierce competition. And when you, as a disability rights organization, tries to apply and to be in competition with human rights organizations, it's really nearly impossible to win such a call. Well, congratulations to Ludmila, because in Moldova they succeeded with that. But my experience is that then the competition is too strong, and somehow rights of people with disabilities is not that high on the agenda. So there we lose. So, but when there are specific calls, or when there would be specific calls on the implementation of the UN Convention, then I think we have a much better chance.
Okay, Thank you, Erika. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. Is there any question or somebody want to do some intervention?
Vasilika, yes, I raised my hand.
Yes, but just be briefly.
Yeah, no, I would just also like to thank Ludmila. I didn't prepare, the way that to send a recommendation because I was asked only to share my experience, our experience, let's say, but I totally endorse and I have the same, let's say, suggestions and expectations on how to further improve in these directions. I share totally and support what Ludmila did in her last comments with suggestions, and especially the fact to consult more. So our European Union delegations in each country need to consult more us on what is the need, or at least go as per the agenda. For example, we had this national plan on the for the disability, like a national plan on what to do, and it expired now, and 90%, 80% of that plan did not get it did not happen, it did not get implemented. And so I think that when you decide to support financially the disability sector, it should do designing the calls by doing a thorough analysis of not only based on the rights, but also the immediate needs, and especially in the service aspect, because our governments are not providing services, so the NGOs are providing services. Thank you.
Thank you, Emanuela, for your intervention. Dear friends, we are almost on the end of this, in my point of view, very successful workshop. The aim was to share experiences, challenges, and needs. And unfortunately, due to the full blocked agenda, it is a busy period. The presentation from the European Commission was cancelled in the beginning of this week. But thank you, Claire, for sharing information about available funds. As all of you know, the strong EASPD commitment to support members and to work alongside with all stakeholders on the European level to raise the problems, needs, and possibilities to share experiences. So for me, it is good that the situation is more or less, and it is good that we heard one presentation from the Western Balkan and one presentation from the Eastern Partnership. So the key words that I heard today are challenges, needs, but on the other hand, opportunities, community-based services, providers. Also, there is a European Union and our aspirations to be part of the European Union. So the funds that are available from the European Commissions are funds that can support states to go to promote the European values, to promote social cohesion, and to encourage sustainable development of the services, but the most important, to promote human rights approach in the disability field, in the field of promotion of social services as a support for the people with disability and their families. That would be just brief wrap up of today's workshop. As I said already, we will gather information from our members from the east part of Europe, and all the feedbacks received from our members will be shared with the European Commission. Thank you again for the two interesting presentation. I know it was maybe a bit nervous because of technical problems, but that is reality in this period, in this 2020. So thank you again for your time. Thank you for the other participants, and I hope that in the next period we will have some idea of joint programs. Take care and keep in touch.